God did not tell you to pay attention to what everybody else was doing. God did not tell you to look at everybody else's results and see where they were and compare yourself. God did not tell you to look at their content and say, oh, their content is so much better than mine, or they have a huge following, that's why they're making this amount of money. God just told you to start. God just told you to start creating that content. But instead of you creating your content, you are consuming more content that you are posting. And you wonder why nothing is happening for you. You wonder why you're so stuck and you're so stagnant and you're so complacent. Because you keep comparing your numbers, your stats, your videos to everybody else who have probably been doing this for about 10 years. And you're just a beginner. You need to stop looking at everybody else and paying attention to what everybody else has going on and pay attention to what God has called you to do. If God has called you to create that content, create it. He didn't tell you to worry about nobody else but yourself. That's the problem. That's why you're so stuck. That's why you're not growing. Because you're looking at everybody else and wishing and praying, well, God, why isn't that me? God, I'm creating content. Why isn't that me? But you're not creating the content that God told you to create, babes. You too busy consuming the content that you're not actually paying attention. You need to create the content that God told you to create. Stop worrying about everybody else. Stop looking at their numbers and stop looking at their stats. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Comparison is a thief of joy. Okay, you need to lock in and focus on God, because you paying attention to everybody else, wondering how they're making so much money, wondering why you're so stuck and complacent. That's not going to get you anywhere. God just needs you to focus on him and do what he called you to do, which is creating that content. So stop doubting yourself. Stop saying, well, God, they're this. You don't know what they've been through to get to where they are now. You do not know the battles and the trials that they had to face to be where they are now. So stop comparing yourself. Stop looking at everybody else's lane and focus on yours. Because if you veer off too much, you're going to get knocked out. Pay attention. Lock in.